Bill Carroll, Zenny62 Media, here at the Senior Bowl. I will be also uploading a bunch of the clips that I've been shooting over the last day, and I'll have a few more today. Now, Thursday's practice, for those who are not familiar with how things work at the Senior Bowl, is more of a walkthrough. They're not trying to get anybody hurt, obviously, at this point. And even Wednesday, it looks like they took the foot off the gas at times a little bit, though Wednesday's usually the most physical practice, and there was a little more physicality in the American than the national practice. But to get into it, I think the wide receiver group, in my opinion, is the best group here. There's a lot of players that Malachi Fields had some good days. I think that Josh Cameron from Baylor has looked good. Fields is from Notre Dame. My personal favorite is Kevin Coleman, but Ted Hurst has had the best week, I think, of any player and probably of all the wide receivers. But the wide receiver group is the best group. I think all the wide receivers have shown well, and those four that is mentioned, particularly Hurst, Coleman, and a special mention to young Mr. Montgomery, Tommy Montgomery from John Carroll University, no relation. John Carroll has put a lot of people in the NFL, but mostly into front offices and coaching positions. A lot of John Carroll alums in coaching and front offices. Not so many on the playing field, but I believe that Mr. Montgomery, worst case scenario, has turned himself into a priority undrafted free agent. I believe he deserves to be drafted, not just based on the Senior Bowl. Go back and watch. And I know it's Division III, but please go back and watch his tape. He's just a player. Other players that are certainly worthy of note, Mr. Lee Hunter from LSU on the interior has had a good week. Mr. Danny Dennis Sutton from Penn State, a lot of people are giving him a lot of love. I want to make it clear, he's had some really good reps. He also had some reps that I didn't find very impressive. It's been very up and down for me, but at his best, he certainly shows a lot. I think Zion Young amongst the pass rushers has been the most consistent and shows the most answers to the test. And I think that he probably is one of the ones that projects very easily to the next level. On the interior line, and the offensive line as a group is a pretty good group. Jennings Dunker has had a very good week, even though he struggled a little bit playing center because he's not a center. Some of the guys are going to have to play out of position. Max Idahocher from Arizona State, amongst the true offensive tackle types, has probably had the most consistent week. Other players that I think made money, Illinois' Gabe Jacobs made himself some money this week, as they say, or I use stock up, stock down, or buy, right? I actually think about buy, hold, sell. He's a buy. I think that Thais Dixon amongst defensive backs has proved to be a hold. I think all the defensive backs have had some good moments. They clearly are not quite as talented a group as a whole as the wide receivers, though, and it shows sometimes in one-on-ones, but everybody's had at least some good showing, some good moments, I would say. The quarterback group, frankly, has been the least impressive group, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. People are giving some love to Taylen Green. I think mostly because he's Taylen Green. Like, physically, he's the most impressive quarterback prospect of the last couple of groups. He's got an arm close to a guy like Joe Milton or a guy like Josh Allen almost, in terms of just pure arm strength. He has an enormous amount of arm strength, and he's a big guy, and he's over 6'6". He's 229 pounds and can really move. But he's never been truly consistent. He had some really good play at Boise State, then he transfers to Arkansas. And Arkansas wasn't great, right, to be honest. They were supposed to have a really killer offensive line. Their offensive line was inconsistent. The wide receiver groups around him were talented, but sometimes inconsistent. But guess what? So was he. We'll see if he's able to put something together. But just based on physical tools alone, he's going to be drafted. And it's a weaker quarterback class. And Altmaier is dull as dishwater, but in a good way for the most part. He doesn't do anything particularly well, but he doesn't do anything terribly either. Like, he's right there. He's going to be an NFL backup for as long as he wants to be one, probably. And, there's no surefire starters, frankly, amongst this entire group. I think that there's several players who will be in the league for a while amongst this quarterback group, but there's nobody here is a Nussmeier is another guy who's on that borderline between starter and long-term backup. So there's no surefire starters amongst the quarterback group this year. The wide receiver group is marvelous. I'm a Coleman guy. I've been a Coleman guy. I was spotting him even while I was still scouting, sort of his predecessor there. And shout out to him having Luther Burden having a great rookie year with the Bears. But he's, I think, maybe the most complete receiver here, even though Ted Hurst is getting the most love, and Ted Hurst is a great receiver as well. I like the whole group, right? It's a great wide receiver group. There are 4 strong buys amongst the wide receiver group, right? I mentioned Coleman, I mentioned Hurst, Cameron from Josh Cameron from Baylor's had a very good week, and once a special moment to Mr. Montgomery, Tom Montgomery from John Carroll, once again, no relation university. All those guys, strong buys. I guess the defensive back group kind of a mix. The running backs, I know that Zenny, of course, is a proud Cal graduate, former Cal, and now of Oklahoma. Jadyn Ott had a mostly solid week. Kalen Black from Indiana, just shout out for showing up. A lot of the guys who played very late into the season from Miami and Indiana, understandably, did not show up. He's here, and he's doing everything. He's doing well. So what I would say is, you're just looking at position groups as a whole. It's wide receivers at the very, very top. I would say interior offensive and interior defensive line are probably about tied. Then I would say after that is the defensive backs. The tackle group has had really 1 or 2 guys flash, but nobody's dominated this week amongst the offensive tackles. And let's see. Yeah, the pass rushers are a strong group. Yeah, like I said, I've been noticed the tight ends. Today, linebackers and tight ends today for me. So I will have more on them for you today. Once again, Bill Carroll from Zenny62 Media. Please like and subscribe, and I'll have more for you soon.